You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
Welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx Brothers.
You gotta stop doing that when I'm taking a sip.
Why?
I'm Kirk.
Did I say I'm Kyle?
Did you?
I don't think you said it.
Yeah.
So you better say it because no one knows.
No one knows I'm Kyle and he's Kirk. Who are you?
I think I might be Nick.
And we're here with Devin Phaly. So, okay, you said when we were outside waiting for Nick to get here. Yeah, I'm throwing you under the bus, Nick. How do you say the non-Americanized version of your last name?
Yeah, so I guess when my family immigrated here, I'm first generation born here in the U.S.
Congrats.
It was pronounced Pali. That was like from my grandma's name, and then when they came over, they switched the spelling to have it with a PH and a Y at the end.
Yeah.
And then ever since, I think they just went with however everyone pronounced it, which was Phaly, and I think that was just like easier for everyone to like memorize. So I've been like going by that ever since basically grade school, and then I think like when I was probably like a teenager, like maybe like high school, college, that I learned that that's how it was pronounced. So yeah, that's just kind of like a fun fact, I guess.
Wait, so it was spelled like the word pale, but it's pronounced poly.
Yeah, like I guess I don't really remember how it's spelled because I think because I'm Laotian, I don't really know how it was spelled in either in English or in our native language. But yeah, that's how it was pronounced. Yeah.
Okay. And Kirk and I always delineate like, well, there's East Asian folks and then there's South Asian folks because I work with a lot of South Asian folks. Do you consider yourself Southeast Asian or East Asian?
Yeah, Southeast Asian, just because it kind of Laos is part of that region.
Yeah.
So I would consider that, yeah.
Okay, so Southeast Asian.
Yeah.
We could get more.
I made that distinction before.
I know. And the movie everyone saw us debate before this takes place in an East Asian location, we would say. Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. So you're a multi-hyphenate. What are your multi-hyphenates? Order them by which roles you care most about, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think human first, I guess.
I meant in production.
I know. I would say lately I just see myself more as like a creative director, and then like producer. But I've had my hands in a bunch of roles in production, including cinematography and mainly editing. So those are like kind of the main like three I would say like that I do for on productions and stuff like that.
Okay, now pull your thing. Do the advertising better for your company.
Oh, this right here. Yeah, Fillet Studios. That's
Nice.
my production company. Yeah.
All right, when did you start your production company?
Yeah. So I originally had the idea for Fillet Studios back in, I would say like July of 2025. I had just left another production company in May. And I was kind of freelancing, and then I had the idea of, I felt like I was ready enough to start my own production company, and it was a little bit of like a risk, but I felt like for every kind of company that I worked for, there was always like a disconnect or something that I didn't really feel like it was really inclusive. So I really wanted to start my own thing and kind of pave my own way of how to be like a game changer, a leader in the production space. And yeah, so it officially launched in January of this year, but I did like a campaign. I directed my own campaign to like launch Fillet Studios back in November. Kirk was on it. And yeah, so I thought it'd be cool to like do a little bit of a launch campaign with like photos and videos to like kind of market and advertise that we exist. So yeah.
You were at a company that did something similar, and then you said, I want to transition into my own thing?
Yeah.
What were the factors that, caused you to make that decision?
Yeah. I used to work for a production company, and it was a small production company. We had like a crew of 3 people, but we would always hire other people for productions, and I would say those 2.5 years that I was there, I really learned a lot. I was able to kind of excel in learning more about production, how to be a better director, producer, DP, and editor. So I kind of played a lot of roles. But with smaller companies, you kind of have to wear a lot of hats. So, I felt like I was I was doing a lot for the company, but for like my specific role, the roles and responsibilities didn't really, weren't really clear. There weren't really a lot of boundaries. So I think I kind of like noticed that, and when I like voiced that, we didn't really align. So I kind of retracted back of being more of one specific role, which was being a senior editor at the company, and only did editing, and things started to like dial back even more. Then it was like, all right, now I'm just freelancing for them, like as a contractor, and then I fully kind of transitioned out of the company around May, and just started freelancing on my own, and not really super associated with them, if that makes sense.
It does. So Fillet Studios, why is it called Fillet? Like
Yeah.
Fillet fish?
Fillet fish,
like the McDonald's thing.
Yeah, that's what I
but
thought
Phaly, fillet.
Oh,
It's kind of a play on
It's clever,
words, but
huh?
my friend, I have friends.
I have friends.
Yeah, there you go. I have friends who are artists. They're music artists, and they had a nickname for me called Davion Fillet, because like Devin Phaly, but Davion Fillet. So that was like kind of like a nickname, and it just kind of stuck. Every time I hung out with them, like I would just feel very like welcomed, felt very like part of, I don't know, it's just a different kind of energy with those guys. But I wanted to use that like fillet as part of the company because it just like sounds like it just rolls off the tongue. But in a sense of why it's called that, I really wanted to play into like the culinary aspects and how that relates to like production, and especially with like fillet, like a filet mignon, like that's like the best cut of like a fish or a steak. So it's like the quality that you get from like a fillet is the same thing you would get from our company in a way.
wow! I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and it's like the
Deep.
process too with like the cooking teams. Like there's so many different parts of the line, and part of the process. You start from prep, and then we plan, we cut, we cook, and then we like deliver or serve, kind of thing.
I'm going to ask you about who your ideal customer is, but
Sure.
first I'm going to make a joke from an anecdote.
Yeah.
Obviously, people have heard in the non-spoiler segment about what happened to me. But when I was talking to the surgeon today, I said, you're the cook today. And I just
No,
realized
nice.
why I made the joke, because he's the one cutting me open. He originally didn't think he had to cut me, and then he did. So that was fun. He thought he was just going to have to shift something.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So who is the ideal customer for Fillet Studios?
Yeah, so I do have like two ideal customers, but I think we're also still developing our brands as we're still kind of fresh since we started in January. We've only been pretty much running for like 2 months.
Yeah.
But we really want to help brands and artists. I think majority of who our clients are right now are kind of different kinds of artists, but mainly like music artists, and then brands who are in like mainly the product and lifestyle. So we really want to focus on narratives going forward, but in a way where we create like campaigns for brands and artists to tell like emotionally resonant stories and are like centered around community. So that's kind of like who our ideal client is. But we're kind of still figuring out who like that specific like niche kind of person is. But yeah.
And you've been freelancing, I assume, before you started your company.
Yes, yeah. Been freelancing mainly as doing just like video and editing. But with Fillet Studios, yeah, I kind of do more of the director, producer kind of stuff as well.
You're a creative director,
Yes.
as you mentioned earlier, and a producer. So what have been some of your key takeaways from your time as a freelancer? Like one of the things we had someone on recently talking about was like learning how to build clients.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway from freelance, like starting a business, like I've done Well, I did start a business right out of college with a mentor, but I didn't really learn too much because I felt like I just got out of college. It was really fresh. I was still like learning a lot of the technical stuff for video, and didn't really learn much about the business side. And after like freelancing and working for other production companies, I kind of took things of how they operated as a business. And now starting my own, I was able to kind of realize how businesses operate and why processes and frameworks matter around the creative, because I think what separates you from being an amateur to a professional is your process, and people will take you more seriously if you have a certain process and it's seamless for them to get them to get on a project with you. And also it's like customer service too, like letting them know that they're taken care of at each step. So it's a lot of it's mainly the like business foundations or like sales, and also just the processes of communication at certain points of the production process. And throughout like the past 2.5 years of working on so many different productions, I've been able to learn a lot about how to communicate efficiently to different departments and stuff. So part of it's like on production, and part of it is the business too. So you have to make sure that things are in place so nothing falls through the cracks, I would say. So
How would you describe your process? Maybe like just pretend I'm a new client
sure.
and tell me what my business is, and then how you would help me.
Well, what's your business?
Yeah, you should be
Yeah,
the
you.
one.
I know my business.
I was like,
yeah.
You
Wait.
clean septic tanks.
Yeah.
I actually
Alright.
that's a great business.
Septic
people
Yeah,
need
I'll
that.
probably do that once AI. Yeah,
Take
AI,
our jobs.
AI can't take away the poop.
What adopted father, since he ran a ready-mix concrete company, I remember going out with him to set the foundations for septic tanks, and then understanding what septic tanks were. On like, why did he do that on a weekend? I don't want to get into it, but so I run a septic tank business. It's called Shemp. You know, like
Shemp.
the fourth Three Stooges. 'Cause it was the Shemp's
Yeah.
septic tanks.
Wow.
Okay, cool. I guess I would first say, like, if you were someone that come to me for a project, a launch, or like an initiative, I would ask, like, you know, what is your current need right now? Like, what is, like, is there any, you obviously you're coming to us for a campaign or a video. Like, what is something that you need right now that will help you get to that next step or next phase in what you need, I guess. Yeah.
I guess my ideal customer is someone who is like a homeowner who lives, I guess, kind of outside of the usual area. Like they're not in a metro area; they live in a rural area, and they have a septic system instead of being in a more metro. So it's someone who owns their home, and the summer's coming up, so I need to start a campaign to remind people that they should get their septic tank cleaned, because a septic tank cleaning is much cheaper than your septic tank getting backed up, and no one wants to deal with that literal shit.
Right. Yeah. I think too, I normally would ask, like, are you looking to do more of a like brand awareness or like process kind of series that you're kind of educating people about septic or about the process, or educating them on certain things that they need to know more of, so when they come to you, they know that you're the experts. And I think like videos definitely help out, especially for those specific like learning objectives or marketing objectives. So I kind of take that to account to see like where do you want to take the project. So that's kind of like my process. Kind of ask more about what do they need, what are they looking for as far as like a campaign, if they're looking to do like social or commercial, or where is this going to exist. And then also I ask them about what does their funding look like, so we can kind of tailor that in our services, so we make sure that we're aligned and we can deliver on what you need.
Yeah, so I think I want to educate folks on like their septic systems, and I also, to be honest, I obviously want to convert to business, because I want people to see my ad, and to be honest, I kind of like to scare the shit out of some people because
Okay.
like I do have some pictures and video of like what it looks like when you don't get your septic system clean and like how bad that can be. But I don't really want to start there. I want to start with value selling because I feel like my septic cleaning business is special, not just because of the people that we employ. Sorry, I touched my mic.
No, it's all right.
But also because of our process, kind of like how you have a process, our process for cleaning septic systems.
It's a really long bit. Are we still going with this bit?
We're learning about his process.
That's okay. Yeah. I think like high level. I think from a, I guess business foundations for me, I was able to learn how to communicate with potential clients, and that's kind of helped me get more comfortable about speaking about my business and also learning about people and what they need. And I think like that's where Fillet Studios adds a lot of value, is where, you know, we listen first before we do anything. And I think that's kind of part of our process that we definitely don't skip. So.
Well, speaking of listening first, you also have a podcast, and Small Rooms, Big Ideas.
Yeah, so I just started that. I feel like as Fillet grows, the podcast could be a good way to kind of spread out some content, and also like y'all kind of build community with people that I've worked with. So I'm kind of expanding to see if it could be people that I haven't worked with before, and just like people that I've maybe that are doing some cool stuff in Minneapolis or the Twin Cities area. But it's really about like intimate talks and about the process, and also just talking about works that are currently going on, like that they have, like projects that they have currently going on. So we kind of get into the nitty and gritty parts of what makes this project and who was involved and how did it all come to be. So, and that's mainly in like the production spaces, or like my first guest was Tyler Seifert. He's like a graphic designer that started his own magazine in Minneapolis, and it highlights other artists in Minneapolis, spanning from like interior design, photographers, designers, and all that. And he got recognized to be in a museum in the Netherlands. So we definitely just talked about, he was also part of my campaign, but I helped him shoot a video that helped get him more traffic to his launch party. So I like directed and filmed and edited his video that got like 10K views. And then he had like a bunch of people come to his event that didn't even know him or didn't even know, like people just like popped up because they were just super interested. So yeah, that was like kind of what we talk about on the podcast. And I hope to, my next episode is with my business partner, Vivian Tran. We do a lot of, we run the company together, but we do a lot of productions. So we'll probably talk more about Fillet in depth on the next episode. But I kind of don't have I don't have like a consistent, I'd say like calendar thing for the podcast. It's kind of like whenever I have people on, I'm just gonna like put out or film it, edit it, and like put it together and put it out. So it's kind of like a more like as we go. I don't really have, it's like more of like a for fun as well. So
Yeah.
It's like something that's supplementary for the content that we want to do for Fillet. So
100%. I was at Minnesota Film Alliance today, and someone was like, "Oh, you must do other stuff besides the podcast," because that's all they knew. But
right.
like you're saying, it's content, and it's constantly on social media. Actually, I had that conversation with somebody else in the film community today about a completely different matter. Is like, I wouldn't be on social media if I wasn't constantly pumping out this content. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. You're weird. But I like to tell the audience that they're special and unique, but I mean weird.
I guess what would be some advice for someone starting a podcast? Like what are some things that I should know?
You know what's funny is that I was on a podcast once, and when I asked the question, the host was very rude about it and said, "You should go start your own podcast." So let me answer that question, because I would love to answer it, and I'm curious for what my brothers would say. gimmicks are fun if they're fun for you. I think being open to change is a big thing, because when we started this, it was just Nick and I debating for an hour and a half, and then we realized, like, we tried to stick to 40 minutes, but then it would always end
How
up
hard
at
did
an
you
hour.
guys try to do that? 60 to 40 minutes.
Do we not try?
We said we would do it. That's if that's the definition of try.
Yeah.
Is, well, we're gonna do it, but
And
we
then
didn't
we-
actually like put effort into trying. No.
We saw the timer and we
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
"Ugh." So I guess find out what you like. You got to figure out what works for you,
Yeah.
and then figure out how to leverage what is working for you. Because
Sure.
kind of like you're saying, the podcast is like, this is not like, this is foundational content for us. If you're seeing this, thank you. We want you we want to convert you up the chain to when we release some web series we have coming up. And ultimately, we're building towards making our own features. And I don't know what the future of distribution is going to look like,
Right.
but I was talking with somebody at the Minnesota Film Alliance about how a distributor is very happy when they see somebody that already has an online presence and a following of a certain size. So part of what we're doing here is to build towards that. So I don't know, what
Yeah.
kind of advice were you seeking?
I mean, that's pretty good. I think for me, because I also was thinking about it when I started. I was like, I'm only gonna do 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But I found out sometimes you can't get a whole conversation done in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just so much to talk about around the creative process, and it's hard. But I like the constraints, so I don't really have like a timer, but like when I'm hosting, like I know like, oh, like 30 minutes is up, and then I'm trying to like wrap it up, but it ends up adding like another 15 minutes usually. And I'm okay with the 45 minutes. But I think for me, it's like the same thing. It's like a funnel, like the at the top is like the awareness of like what the podcast is, like people are seeing that I'm putting out content, and it gives value, and people can partake in listening to it. And then like hopefully every piece of content kind of like leads to somebody working with us or contacting us about wanting to do a commercial campaign or a narrative, or I really want to get on shorts. Again, I did a short film with Kirk and Jenny and Maya last summer, and that's something that we want to do. And I'm hoping with the podcast too, we can kind of talk more about that, and then hopefully do another short and stuff. I've also applied to a few grants, so hopefully next year I can maybe write and direct my own short. So
God bless and good luck
Yeah.
with those grants. We've gone through the grants.
Well, actually, I was
process.
gonna advise to have less constraints. I mean, I appreciate the 30 minutes, but let the conversation go where it needs to go. Even though we have like a quote unquote agenda and we have questions we typically ask,
Right.
but just let the conversation go where it's gonna go, and try to keep it authentic as you can.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good advice.
What-
Nick,
Oh yeah, I want to create space
Yeah.
for
You're
my
asking
next
me what?
thing. What advice
Advice?
would you give young Devin here?
Or anyone starting a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, or anyone.
I have
Based-
no advice to give
You
on
made
starting a
you've been
podcast.
on a show that's gone for over 100
I've been
episodes.
on it. I've been on it. I never cared about making it a real thing. You know, I had like 2 drinks when I suggested, "Hey, let's record us debating." Or I didn't think it was going to be for 100 episodes. I have no advice to offer.
Well, I'm curious. How do you get a video to 10,000? What do you think got that video to 10,000? Was it the release strategy? It's just that good. You put it out there.
It's just that good. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, it could be. I think what it is, we put some strategy behind it, but it involved a character on the video that we're really trying to show who was going to go to this event and what their lifestyle was like, and really just create movement, because we want to show the city and show this person moving throughout the city. They had their apartment that was very uniquely them, and I think we poured into that character so people could like relate and resonate with fashion, with art, with also we highlighted like this cafe that they hosted the event at, which is a Harmony Cafe, and it's a very known place, so people like kind of recognize different parts of the city. And I think people just resonate, one, because it was a very I guess engaging video. a lot of movement like in the first like 3 seconds, and has that like hook in a sense, where people were able to like just get tapped in really quick. But I did this sequence where there was just urban sounds in cities, and there was like we did this magazine sequence where like pages were flipping, and we were doing like different parts of the magazine to highlight it, and then it kind of transitioned into the character's apartment, and then you started to hear like more of the ambient urban city sounds. And I felt like with sound design, like it's really like cool to like really build like that immersive experience. So I kind of played into the video, like the color grading was very like vintage like. I feel like that's just what a lot of people are really like viewing nowadays. And also the sound design really just got people in like in the first 5 seconds. And yeah, it was a really good turnout. He said he got like 100 to 150 new followers on Instagram just from that video.
Nice.
I'm just like, cool. That's like what I hope for. So,
Oh, so it was for social media and it was for Instagram.
yeah, it's for social media, and it was all organic reach for
No paid kind
no,
of thing.
yeah, no, nothing paid.
It doesn't work, and
Yeah.
all the Meta's been sued many times for that. Sorry,
Oh,
Zuck.
wow.
Yeah, go Zuck yourself,
that.
Mark. Advertising, you've worked in advertising, formal advertising as well? Or like for an advertising company?
Yeah, like I would say like advertising / social media. Like when I first started, when I got out of college, I interned and I majored in advertising, graphic design, but I did content for this agency right when I got out of college. So I had some experience working in agency, but I just like soon found out that that's probably not exactly like how I like to work.
Why is that?
I think the process from internal process and just client process with agencies can be a lot of back and forth, a lot of cooks in the kitchen. I feel like for most projects we were working on, like there wasn't really one decision maker, and it's just like, all right, we're on V12, V19, like what are we doing here? Like, you know. So I feel like there's a lot of pain with people in the agency, but at the same time, you know, like obviously in commercial corporate work, like there's going to be a lot of people involved anyway. So you kind of go in expecting that. It's just like, are you okay with that process? And for me, there was just more, I guess, headaches than that I could handle. So, but yeah, I think it's still like great for anyone just starting out their career, or like people who actually are the decision maker in that process. That it could be really fun to like really direct or I guess guide people to and lead people on those projects. So
How do you like to prep for something that you're creatively directing, which I guess is a little different than process? Like, what are you specifically doing to, make sure Devin's style is coming through? Devin's themes and tones?
I think for my process is once like someone comes on and as like with the project to us and we get them onboarded and everything, I really try to make sure that we have like a kickoff meeting and really talk about I guess going forward what this process is going to look like, and the certain components that are going to be going to this video and all the production elements. And then we just like learn more about what their goal is. And then we take all this information, I take it to my team with Vivian, and we create like a treatment around this project that includes a lot of about like the direction, the initial direction for the video or the campaign, and the visual style, the tone, and what we hope to execute from like a very high level. So I feel like during the past we didn't really make a lot of treatments with companies that I worked with before. Like we just normally hopped on a call, all right, we're gonna do this, but there was no like document or visual treatment that could help guide us. And I think like I like to make sure like everything from start to finish, like we're sticking to that plan, or we come to we come to a project like prepared with ideas that are fresh and new and unique. So that's kind of something that we put in our process that's maybe a little bit different than other people, because I feel like maybe some people don't really implement a treatment because it takes time to like do everything, or implement that into your process. But we like to like really be intentional and detailed with our ideas.
How do you and Vivian divide your duties? The first thing you
Yeah.
asked us was, how do you guys divide your
Sure.
duties? And that was smart.
Yeah. So how we operate right now is Vivian's like more, she's a partner in this, but we still kind of operated her as like she's still a contractor, because obviously we're still growing, and she also freelances on this on full time as well. So she's doing like our projects and her own projects, but she's more of a creative producer. So she helps a lot with the pre-production side of things. And then when she's on set, she is mainly like an assistant director and kind of coordinator, and helps me make sure that the production's on track of time, and all the shot lists, that she kind of communicates the shot list with me, to make sure that production flow is going well. And she's not really in the post-production side, but she's also a really talented photographer. So I also, if we have like a photography aspect in the campaign, I usually let her be the creative lead for that. As the creative director, I create the treatments, but then I talk with her about specific photography direction, so she can give really good input on that. And then usually if we get paid on projects, we just talk about our certain roles and responsibilities and how much she's comfortable being paid for her part. And we're very transparent about that, like up front. And I feel like that's the transparency and honesty right away is what helps us like make sure that we're doing, the money's not really in the way, but we can focus on creative work. And we're just like, all right, this is what it is. We're good. And then we just focus on the creative. So.
When you were a younger fellow, were you an athlete first or an artist? Because I know you wrestled in high school and college, and I found that. And I like people who did combat
How
sports.
did you find that?
It was, didn't you win a championship at your college or something?
No. I guess like from the first part of that question, all the way going back from middle school and high school, I moved around a lot as a kid, so I didn't really know. It was really hard making friends and like figuring out like what to do like outside of home, like my home. So it was like, all right, like every time like I moved, it was just hard. And then I ended up joining like sports, and then my brother got me into wrestling, and that was like in high school. So I started wrestling in high school my freshman year, or 8th grade or freshman year. So I was like an athlete first. I didn't really get tapped into like my creative side. I feel like I was always creative, but like once I got into like sports, that was like my new identity. Like in middle school and high school, it's like, all right, like this is who I am. I'm sticking with this group of people because I felt like it was like a family, and I can really like see myself around these people because they pushed me to be better. But yeah, in high school, I placed twice went to state like 3 times, placed twice in state, and then went on to wrestle in college at Morningside, and then I qualified for nationals at Morningside. So like during like freshman year all the way to college, like I progressed really fast, but like there's like definitely people like who've been doing it since they were kids. So like it was like crazy for me. Like my second year of wrestling ever, like I placed at state, and it was like not really known. I was like, oh, he progressed really fast, and then ended up like doing really well. But yeah, so yeah, then after college, I was starting to like really get tapped into filmmaking, and I was like, all right, so like there's life outside of sports. And that was like really challenging too, because like, all right, this is all I ever knew, and now I'm finding this new passion for filmmaking and videos and photography, and it was something that kind of sparked a new flame in me, and then I kind of just ran with it. So after like college, I like stopped wrestling and stop working out in general, because I got super burnt out, like physically and mentally, from wrestling, because it just took a lot out of me. And then like literally like last year, I volunteer coach wrestling for 1 year.
Oh,
But that's because I wanted to see what coaching was like instead of being an athlete, because I wanted to like give back. That was at Richfield High School, and my cousin wrestled there, so it was cool to like coach him and coach other kids, and it was fun because like I felt like I'm still like a young person, but it was like it felt cool to like be like a mentor to these high school students. Yeah.
You know, Ryan Coogler of Sinners, football player. Then
I saw that.
Yeah, okay, see,
There you go. They take that mentality and bring it to filmmaking. So I think that also, you know, something individual about me is I kind of take in that dedication and hard work and bring it to the creative as well. So I feel like with a lot of projects, like if you aren't willing to like go through all that challenges and hardship, like things won't happen. You know, like you need to kind of be in the mud for some things. So
you need to be in
yeah,
the mud
get
for
your
something.
hands dirty. You know he was in wrestling, but you didn't bring that up as a company that you wanted to do?
I knew he was in wrestling, but
Yeah, but you didn't bring that up as a company when you were trying to pitch Shemp?
because Nick suggested septic tanks, and I yes-anded it. See, if you had done some
okay.
improv,
Sure.
training, gotten in the mud with improvisers,
Yeah, in the
you
mud.
know that.
Yeah. Well, our last question of the night is, who would you recommend we reach out to be on this show?
That's a tough one. Man, I'm gonna just mention Vivian. That's my partner for Fillet Studios. Super talented photographer. She produced a fashion show that really highlighted like 5 designers and did an exhibition. So she like is super talented and really like puts on for the community. And like she's well versed in editorial and fashion photography. So she definitely knows like a lot about the process if you really wanted to get into I guess more of a professional level photography. And then something we're doing for Fillet is we want to put on more community events and more programs. So we partnered with a different organization to give it to provide like $20,000 for a grant to do a creative program. So Fillet is like presenting, I think, in May, a program for like beginner to intermediate photographers, and we're gonna do a 5 to 6 day workshop for them to like build their skills in entrepreneurship, but also in their editorial photography. So we're gonna help them kind of build their skill set, but they're also going to kind of conceptualize their own idea for a photo shoot so they can display it at an exhibition at the end of the program. So we're going to put that on in the next 3 months. So we're looking forward to like, you know, really helping out like 6 individuals who like want to take their next step in their photography. Because, you know, it's really hard, I think, for people who aren't in production or photography to really get into it. Like, all right, they might be at a certain level, but, you know, there's just so much knowledge to be given to like help them accelerate their growth. And that's something that we want to do with me and Vivian, and then our other person on the team is Aola, is really, I guess, give back to the community in some way. So,
What do you think is driving that? Is it like opportunity or lack of opportunity or lack of?
I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of factors. I feel like one, it could be geographical or just like, you know, where we are in the Midwest. Right. I feel like for certain people here, like, and I don't like knock it because I feel like with like Sinners and stuff, like if you have that crew, you have that team, like you're going to keep working with them and you're going to get to a certain level. But I feel like there's like a level, or there's like a part of that where I'm trying to like break a little bit is I love to always bring someone new onto a production that I haven't worked with before, because one, it creates community and network, and you get to like meet new people who can also maybe they have a different set. They've that one. So I always just try to like build out that network more and more, and get people who are experienced and inexperienced so they can like come together and learn from each other. So that's something that I want to do, because I feel like it's not really seen as much to work with new people as much as the same people all the time.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to do on the show too, get new people on. Yeah.
No, that's great. It's
Replace
stuff.
me.
Huh?
Replace me. Trying to replace me.
Is that an official thing, replace you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Devin, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you all for
We'll
having
catch
me.
you next time. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN. Join us next time for another bait.